What's good, y'all? It's your boy. I'm showing you how to do a quick tutorial for the chain gun. I am streaming currently, but I'm also doing this recording so that way, I can have this up. Christo made a good idea saying I should record this. Okay, some bombers over there. The first thing you want to do is make sure you spawn this with the mud. Mud's quite the important thing you need to have here. That is how we do it out here. Okay. Okay. First order of business is, of course, as always, going over here and get the eye. Getting the eye is pretty, you gotta get the eye to be able to do this trick. You gotta have it. I like to jump like 11 times. That makes it kind of close to where I am. We jumped a little bit further that time, but whenever you get the eye, it's always a good idea to go ahead and go to your input, controls. I like to unbound my keypad, my kick, to the keypad, might one. The reason why you need the mud flasks is to be able to get over the tree. Because the tree doesn't take any damage from anything. All the tree does is just there to be a tree. Of course, thank you for stopping by, Daily. I appreciate you, man. You already know. As you notice, the mud, you can make like a little, you can give yourself perches from, to be able to get over here through this, to get the eye, and to go over the Hurley Mountain itself. Mud is the requirement to have this strat happen. It is quite the long strat. It is, just, it's quite the journey. It is quite the journey. The great journey, like the Covenant. But this trick will be a little bit faster than doing the old-fashioned Theory Forge way. This way is good, don't get me wrong. But sometimes you can find ways that could be a little bit better. I can get up here. Alright. I'll definitely probably fast forward this part unless I say something important, but now our whole goal is to go past the pyramid, past the watchtower, until we get to the wall at the edge of the earth. I don't know how to do that. Sorry, I was looking to see if there's a way that I could make a marker and, like, fast forward, but it's fine. The longest part, again, about the whole strategy now is the walking. If you add Acceleratium, you can definitely make it faster. Definitely, just because, the running portion is the longest way to do anything here. That's the only thing that really takes the longest about this. But we're going to cut that down, again, once we get to the area we need to get to. If you haven't seen this far out over or anything like that, it is a little bit kind of, I don't want to say spoilery, but it is something that, like, if you've only ever went down to the mines, you would never think about it, Again, another reason why we love playing the game of Noita, because it's great. It's a great game. Just, you break open the molds and the bounds and just being able to do things that you wouldn't normally ever be able to do in other games. Acceleratium, though, is a type like a potion you have. You drink it, it makes it go fast. Go burr, pretty much, you know what I mean? I recommend doing this strat at the beginning of your run, whenever provided you start with mud. That's just my recommendation. Just because it'll make it easier, you get everything out the way, you don't have to end up coming back up here and doing all over again, you know what I mean? talk about the S. All right, so Crystal, I don't know. Again, your name is going to show up regardless of whatever I say. So they can see. Talk about the Essence Eater. All right, I talked about the Essence Eater. The Essence Eater is one of the things that we need to grab the will of stone, the Earth Stone, if you will. Again, when we grab the stone, I'll show you why you need to make sure that you're having the key unbounded. But you know, we've gotten everything. We've gotten our eye. Now we need to go ahead and make our way over the pyramid. Again, it's quite the journey. The reason why we have this eye is because it makes things easier to dig. We'll pick this off this orb because you know what I mean. You know, grab an orb real quick. Generally, whenever I have a chance to do a long run, this is what I would do. Whenever you go pick up this object I'm telling you about, you want to make sure you're staying careful and staying away from like the walls and things like that. Because this thing can hurt you. It can definitely hurt you doing this. That's why you want to make sure you can know how to get your timing for your jumps and all that kind of stuff correctly. Yeah, this is the Essence Eater right here. Take note of this. It's between the pyramid and the watchtower. Make sure you take note of that. Because we're going to have to come back there. Again, we're making our way downtown. You know, I am definitely going to edit this later, so don't even worry about it. The Essence Eater, though, is part of a greater, grander quest, you know, just like this is right here. But we're not really here about that right now, you know what I mean? You guys are here to find out how to get the chain gun strategy in Noita quickly. Ah yes, here we are, the edge of the world. This is where the strat really begins at right here. You gotta make sure you just climb up here. Just make sure you do all this climbing up here. And you're going to go to a new biome. One that is unknown, if you will. Alright. So, I talked about the Essence Eater earlier, and about the things that we need to do this. Make sure you have a couple bombs, and then make sure you want to have the eye. You want to make sure you can use the eye, because the eye can cut through this material here. I like to get to like an area like right here, so that way I can dig straight down here and then find perches and place down my unstable crystals. So now we got that little area here. We can just kind of dig ahead of us a little bit. And since we have plenty of the unstable crystals right over here, right there, we can use those to help us dig past this area. So I'm going to do the digging now. Okay. You may have to do it a couple times to make sure you get the, you know what I mean? You get past here, because you want to make sure you don't have anything blocking or hindering your path, so that way you can run through. So again, this is the essence of Earth. When you grab this, periodically, it's going to release some sort of burst of energy that I'm going to show you here. Don't be on the ground when they come out, okay? Or you will hurt yourself. That's the burst of energy I'm talking about. Now, you guys remember about the Essence Eater, right? We just picked up the essence of the Earth. So, I think we're going to need something to get rid of or eat that essence. So, we have to make our way back to the Essence Eater. Time your jumps. And just make sure you're timing your jumps out here. So that way, you know, if you don't time your jump, you'll take like a point of damage like I just did just now. Or a couple more points just now. It is highly recommended that you go above and not in the middle like this. But I figure if you just time out your jump enough, you can go through the middle there. I like to do running, then jump, running, jump, jump. This just will make sure it fires before you run over there and jump. Now that we have the eye in our hand, and since you're starting this at the beginning of your run, what you want to do is look down and use this to get rid of this. Alright. Now, as long as you have the Tanner Kiwi, this right here, in your inventory, you do not kick. Say it with me. Don't kick. If you do kick... let me see. Can I not do it here? Well, I guess that's cool. Anyway. Oh. Yes, as you notice with the Tanner Kiwi, what it does is it enables all material to turn to soil. So you can run through things that say brickwork right here, and everything around you will just turn to soil. That's very important. Believe me, that's very important for our strat. That's integral, if you will. Yeah, sometimes Noita does Noita things, and yeah, that happens. But, I'm trying to get to a point where I can show you guys not to kick. What happens if you kick? Oh, there it is. Notice how the ground around me started to chunk down like that? Pretty much with the Tanner Kiwi, whenever you kick, an earthquake happens. So you want to make sure you unbound your kick key, or you're going to have a bad time. Alright, now we're getting to the heart and matter of the strat. Now I'm going to show you guys the original strat, and then I'm going to show you guys the new strat. Okay? So that way you guys can be the judge of, like, you know, the speed of each one. Normally, you could never be able to dig through this EDR stuff. As you notice, I'm trying to dig through it here. Can't do it. But with the help of the Tanner Kiwi, anything is possible. I like to go over about 4 rocks worth. Like, so, like, you know, going over here to the edge, holding backwards. You know what I mean? Until you can't... I like to do it until you cannot see the sand. That gives you a nice basis of where you need to be. Alright, so this is a good spot. This is the original strategy right here. You dig down, you grab the stone, you know what I mean? You make all that right here. You grab it, and you jump up, you dig down. This is the strategy that has been known about the chain gun for now, about the Fury Forward strategy. This takes a long time, because you gotta jump back up, and then slowly go back down and make yourself a pathway. That takes too long. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to cover all this right here with soil, take the Tanner Kiwi, drop it, throw it down on the ground. Now we want to take this right here. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes you might have to pick it back up again. You may have to pick it back up, and then, like, throw it down on the ground a little bit. And we're just gonna dig down. And we're going to use ourselves as a guiding for what we need to do for this right here. As you notice, the speed at which it falls, like free falls, is just perfect enough. If you do have dissolving powders with this, like you have the perk, it will make this strat 100 times faster. And make it a way for that you can get out the Holy Mountain a lot easier. So that way you just have to hold the stone and powders near you dissolve. Thank you. Appreciate that. But, this is the new strat right here. This is the strat, everyone. It takes... Having to multitask between the Tanner Kiwi and, like, jump up like that is ridiculous. But if you do it this way, a lot of the speed, a lot of the the annoyances from making this long drawn out thing is it's gone because it's, you know, it looks right. Just make sure you're constantly looking left, down, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It gives it a place for it to like kind of roll downhill at, and then, you know, you kind of jump up a little bit there. But again, this is a much faster way to do this now. I want to speed up here, and I'll see you guys when we get to the area. Last thing I want to say, normally this takes like a round of this takes normally about a 40-minute. This is about an hour from the walking to digging straight down. Make sure you're digging straight down. It's about an hour. It's about like an hour total to get everything you want to get here. But with this route right here, you can do everything in like, from the digging portion, at least in like 10 minutes. Like, I don't want to, like, again, I want to kind of like show you guys unedited what it looks like here. So I'm going to try to go as fast as I can here. I don't know if you guys know, but if you ever try to go fast in Noita, Noita will just do everything in his power to just make sure everything goes slower for you. As you notice, we're still keeping our left-right looks. Do not go to the left side. That is a biome over there that is called the Overgrown Caverns. Not safe. Not friendly at all, I promise. So you want to make sure that you're staying over here and that there's... Whenever this happens, grab it. This is for the moon radar. As you notice, this is we're already over here to the moon radar. We'll go pick this up. Now, you find the apex of the moon radar. The apex of it. Find the right side of it. And from this dot right here, start right here. Because if you start from anywhere else, you may end up not where you need to be. As you notice again, we make everything around their soil. We drop it by right-clicking. Take out the eye. Again, sometimes if you leave it alone, for too long, it'll it won't start like falling down. So you gotta make sure that you're on the money about it whenever it happens. Yes, you will take damage sometimes, because if you're going a little bit too fast, the stone, not the stone, but the debris above your head will hurt you, because this is Noita. It doesn't happen too often though, so like, you won't kill yourself from it, unless you're just unfortunate, you know what I mean? The only time you want to make sure you're unbounding the thing is if it's in your inventory. So we don't really have to have it unbound, but it's a smart practice, a smart idea to, as long as you have the Tanner key, to have it, you know what I mean, unbound for you. Now this one's going to take quite a little bit longer, but again, I want to show it unedited and show you guys exactly how like quick it could be. You guys can comment and tell me what's your favorite strat or favorite way to, you know, that you've ever came up with. Either in a game or in Noita. I love to see all the comments. I read all of them. All of them that show up on my screen. How about that? I've never had this or tried it with the dissolved powders perk. But I'm sure it'd be really, really good. You wouldn't even need a reason to have black hole then. You could just have this. Yeah, it takes a little while. It does take a long time. I'm not gonna lie to you. It takes a while. But it could take longer. Like and subscribe. The moon radar we picked up is helps for doing another quest, and I'm going to show you guys my risky strategy I have here. I like to do something a bit different. I like to grab this right here, and then I like to go shopping. I like to go. We're gonna go to Walmart. Sometimes this happens. Just pick it up, grab it, start with the Fury Forge method, and then just start digging again. As long as you're just digging down and you're just making sure that you can continue it for half of its way down, there shouldn't be an issue. With the way the pixels simulate in this game, as long as you're digging down next to some other stuff, it wants to go ahead and, like, you know, fall, if that makes sense. Some may say, hey, takes a long time for a method just to play Noita. But in my mind, I say, hey, as long as you're having fun, as long as you find out how you want to play the game, that's what matters. This route is not RNG dependent. I mean, it is to a certain extent, because you got to get the mud, but this is a way to get you through this. It'll get you to the Hisi base. This will get you to Hisi base. I'm using a couple mods right now for the... I don't want anyone to be like, hey, you know, what do you use for your mods? I got my edit ones always in the inventory bags mod, but I won't be using these right here. You know, it's going to be raw dogging it, whatever. My favorite thing to do when you get this chain gun down here, my favorite thing to do is to use the chain gun and a smart teleport bolt for a rocket. Sorry, my eye. Something's in my eye. Experiment with your different pathing, because there's different paths that you can take. And as long as you're having fun or doing what you gotta do, you know, that's what matters. It does take a while. So after you, like, this will either be my first run of the day, or it'll be, like, after I have been Noita 7 times, and, you know, I'm tired of going through, doing the best I can, and the mice just get handled. I am by no means good there. Alright. And here we are. Make sure you pick it up before you drop down. And here we are. And that's the chain gun strat. Much, 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 much faster than normal. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you. Yeah.